Hey guys, welcome back. Imagine this. You're out on a date with a woman you've been eyeing for weeks. The chemistry is building, laughter is flowing, and then bam, you say something that completely kills the vibe. She glances away, her smile fades, and suddenly, you feel the energy shift. Ever happened to you? Well, today, I'm here to ensure it never does again. We're diving deep into the things you should never say to a woman you're attracted to. These deal-breaking phrases might seem harmless on the surface, but trust me, they can turn a dream date into a disaster. Ready to find out what they are? Stick around because this is going to be a game changer for your dating life. All right, guys, let's break this down step by step and take a closer look at why these phrases are such deal breakers. Starting off with the first one, wow, you're actually really smart. This phrase might sound like a compliment at first glance, right? I mean, you're praising her intelligence, so what could possibly go wrong? The problem lies in that sneaky little word, actually. By saying you're actually smart, you're suggesting that her being intelligent is somehow surprising or unexpected, almost like you didn't believe she could be both attractive and intelligent. It's as if you've set the bar low and she's managed to clear it, making her feel underestimated and misunderstood. Think about it. No one wants to feel like they're defying some stereotype or breaking a preconceived notion just by being themselves. When you say something like that, it's almost as if you're implying that she's not the typical beautiful woman who might not have depth or intelligence. And let's be real, that's not what you want her to take away from your conversation. So what's the alternative? Focus on expressing appreciation without any undertones of surprise. Instead of, wow, you're actually really smart, try saying something like, I love how you see things. Your perspective is really unique and thought-provoking. See the difference? You're acknowledging her intelligence and showing that you genuinely value her input without attaching any hidden expectations or judgments. Now moving on to phrase number 2. I didn't take you for the type who likes insert hobby here. Picture this scenario. You're getting to know her, and she mentions that she's into playing video games, working on cars, or maybe she's an avid sports fan. You, wanting to show interest, say, wow, I would have never guessed you were into that. Boom, deal breaker. Why? Because you've just boxed her in based on her looks or some other superficial characteristic. You're unintentionally suggesting that she doesn't look the part to have these interests. Women, like men, have complex personalities and a variety of passions. Suggesting that she doesn't fit into a certain mold can make her feel like you're not seeing her as a full person. Instead, try to come from a place of curiosity and open-mindedness. If she says she loves science fiction novels, don't respond with, really? You like sci-fi? Instead, ask her, that's awesome. What's your favorite book in the genre? Or if she says she's into playing pickup basketball rather than expressing shock, say, impressive. How did you get into basketball? You're not only validating her interests, but also inviting her to share more about herself. This shows that you're genuinely curious about her passions and want to learn more, rather than being fixated on what you think a woman should be interested in. Next, let's address the notorious phrase number 3. I'm not like other guys. Ah, the classic line used by countless men who are trying to set themselves apart. But here's the thing. If you have to tell her you're different, you probably aren't. Actions speak louder than words. When you say something like, I'm not like other guys, you're immediately creating an us versus them dynamic, implying that you think you're better than the rest. It can come off as self-aggrandizing, and more importantly, it puts unnecessary pressure on her to see you as special before she's even had the chance to get to know you properly. Instead of telling her you're different, show her. How? Through your actions, your authenticity, and the way you treat her. Share your stories, your values, and your perspectives in a way that naturally sets you apart. For example, instead of saying, I'm not like other guys, I really care about a woman's feelings, demonstrate that by actively listening to her, engaging in thoughtful conversations, and being considerate of her thoughts and emotions. Let her see through your behavior that you're genuinely invested in who she is as a person, not just as a romantic interest. And here's another common slip-up that happens more often than you'd think, bringing up your ex. Phrases like, my ex used to love this restaurant, or "my ex never understood my sense of humor like you do" might seem harmless, but they're incredibly loaded. The moment you bring up your ex, you're shifting the focus away from the present conversation and dragging in past baggage. It's almost like you're saying, "I'm still comparing you to someone else," or "I'm not fully over my last relationship." Even if that's not your intention, that's how it often comes across. And it's uncomfortable for the woman sitting across from you because she doesn't want to feel like she's being measured up against someone else's standard. So, what's the right approach? Keep your past relationships out of the conversation unless she asks, and even then, keep it short and neutral. If she says something that genuinely makes you think of a past experience, acknowledge the thought silently, but redirect your focus back to her. Say something like, "That's really interesting. Tell me more about that," instead of, "Yeah, my ex and I used to do something similar." Keep your attention on the moment and the unique connection you're building with her. All right, guys, we're halfway there. The next phrase is one that might seem self-deprecating, but it's a subtle killer. "You're too good for me." Now, at first glance, this might sound like you're putting her on a pedestal and showing appreciation for how amazing she is. But the reality is, it's not a compliment. It's an insecurity wrapped in flattery. By saying she's too good for you, you're essentially admitting that you don't believe you're worthy of her. And let me tell you, there's nothing less attractive to a woman than a man who doesn't see his own value. Women are drawn to confidence and self-assurance, and by putting yourself down, you're signaling a lack of those qualities. Instead, focus on showing appreciation for her qualities without making it about your perceived shortcomings. Say something like, "I feel really lucky to be spending time with someone as driven and passionate as you." Notice the difference? You're acknowledging her positive attributes without turning it into a comparison that leaves you looking insecure. And finally, let's tackle the well-meaning but outdated phrase, "I'll protect you." Now, don't get me wrong, wanting to be supportive and caring is a good thing, but announcing yourself as her protector can actually backfire. Why? Because it implies that she's weak or incapable of taking care of herself. In today's world, most women value their independence and strength. They don't want a knight in shining armor. They want a partner who sees them as an equal, someone who's there to support them, not save them. So what's the better alternative? Be a steady, reliable presence in her life. Instead of saying, "I'll protect you," say, "I'm always here for you if you need me." Show her that you trust in her ability to handle her own challenges, but that you'll always be there to offer support, encouragement, and empathy when needed. This way, you're creating a balanced dynamic where she feels valued for her strength and resilience, rather than feeling patronized or underestimated. All right, now that we've dissected these 6 deal-breaker phrases, what's the overarching lesson here? It's all about being mindful of your words and how they might be interpreted. Women, just like men, want to feel seen, heard, and respected for who they are, not judged, underestimated, or put on a pedestal. When you speak with genuine curiosity, appreciation, and respect, you're creating an environment where attraction and connection can naturally flourish. Remember, it's not about tiptoeing around every word you say, but about being aware of the impact your words can have. Compliment her without surprise. Ask questions without assumptions. Show your uniqueness through your actions. Keep the past in the past, embrace confidence over insecurity, and be her teammate rather than her protector. That's the kind of approach that builds attraction and deepens the connection. So next time you're on a date or chatting with someone you're into, keep these pointers in mind. You'll find that your conversations flow more smoothly, your connection deepens, and those deal-breaking moments, they'll become a thing of the past.